Our mind works on two levels. One level is our soul-driven ratio, a conscious maturation process that speaks the language of thinking and is oriented towards creation and love. It stems from our soul's desire for research and self-realization. This self-realization leads us to comprehended happiness, gratitude, and success as a reward for following the truth. If we allow it, another level looms over our mind where, like a shadow, there is a mask created by our ego fears that unconsciously and immaturely speak the language of thoughts and emotions. The ego is our constant life teacher that serves the purpose of putting challenges in our way, distorting reality and hiding the truth from us. It is our false identity, an image in our mind that we have built up as a result of all our experiences or lack of experiences. It is a collection of all our deep ego fears and consequent selfishness, attachments, needs, desires, and hundreds of other things that we take for granted and whose correctness we do not question. But it is not us. It is all a mask of our ego. And when we trust our ego and not our soul, psychological and physical suffering happens. Suffering or state of ego is the alarm of our soul that we are on the wrong path, led by our ego fears and not by truth and love. Suffering is the fundamental reason for awakening. That's why it exists, and that's why it was a gift to us. Because why would we even begin to explore our soul and fight against our ego fears if there was no suffering to injure us and thereby warn us that we are doing something wrong and have moved away from the truth? And the stronger the suffering, the faster the awakening. Ego creates thought, thought creates emotion, and emotion creates action, our deeds. For example, if another car suddenly cuts our way in a traffic jam, our ego wakens up and creates an unconscious, selfish thought. How are you cutting my way? I'm in a hurry. Like we are the only ones who are in a hurry. An emotion is created, anger that results in our actions, cursing and shouting. We didn't even think about it. We just did it, unaware of our awakened ego. And this unawareness resulted in suffering, or in this case, anger and stress for our body and the environment. We poison ourselves by drinking the poison of anger and think we will harm someone else. And when we destroy our family, work, and opportunities, and even get sick from that poison, we blame evil fate and not our unawareness. And the ego gets stronger every time we don't want to follow the truth. Every time we are afraid, so we avoid doing what is right. It becomes increasingly difficult to recognize it because it becomes a part of us. And the longer it is a part of us, the longer it will take us to overcome it. Egoism, fears, and the desire to harm ourselves or others, we begin to think this is all us. But remember, our soul cannot be any of that. None of that is us. But if we think we are, then we will become it. It is a concept quite simple to understand. And we will not overcome our ego, our imposed false identity, until we comprehend that everything we identify with is not us. We are not the city we live in, the job we do, the title we attach ourselves to, the football club we support, the car we drive, the idea we advocate, or the lifestyle we nurture. It doesn't mean we shouldn't have or deal with any of the above. It just means that we shouldn't look for our value or confirmation of identity through the above, because then our ego rules and the truth about who we are escapes us. And the ego is very fond of excuses, hiding delusions, illusions, and all other possible forms of evasion of the truth. The ego hides from the truth in any of the above ways, just to avoid facing it, because by facing the truth, the ego disappears. Ego disappears in the presence of truth, as darkness disappears in the presence of light, and therefore likes to mask as love. Often, even weaknesses, emotional volatility, and stress are stated as love. We must have heard, at least once in practice, that someone equates a state of stress with the fact that he cares, that is, with love. If we are under stress at work or in private life, it reflects only ego and consequently emotional immaturity and struggle against reality. Definitely not love, because love cannot lead to suffering. Only ego can hurt. That's why relationships don't die naturally. They are suppressed by selfishness and fear. Each of us should honestly and truthfully ask ourselves how much we are capable of loving and how much we are motivated by ego fears. Each of us has experienced in life that someone has left us, a partner, a friend, or a family member, and we interpreted all emotions, such as mourning and sadness, for that person as love. So did our environment too. It is normal to miss and feel sad because the person who we love is gone. However, that's not love. That's pure ego. I miss him, and that's why I'm sad. In love, it's not that there is no I, but there is no need for an I. When we say that we love someone and suffer because he left us, we must understand that we do not love him, but are simply selfish and thinking only of ourselves. Because we miss it. That feeling has nothing to do with love, because love, once again, cannot lead to suffering. The person who left us may be happy. If we really love them, it wouldn't matter to us where they are happy, near us or far away. It would only matter to us that they are happy. We are not important in that case. The most important thing we must realize to learn to love is that we are not important. In fact, that our ego is not important. Let's not be surprised if we realize that we love almost and exclusively ourselves, or that we don't love ourselves at all. That's why we complain when we can't find love and say that love is overrated because we are cynical and disappointed. Maybe we're even making fun of love. So let's honestly and truthfully ask ourselves how much love we have given in our life. Where does the idea come from that we can get something that we have never even tried to give? We need to understand the simplest thing in the world. We must first give to receive anything, including love. You can't get a simpler guide to a happy life than that. It is a matter of our awareness, conscience, and courage who we choose to be. We can choose love or not. Because love does not want to possess, only ego does. When we mature so much that we are happy for another, even if he leaves us, then no one will even think of leaving us. Because life without love is life in the ego and the completely wrong direction. Due to our unawareness and weakness, we got on the wrong train and every stop will be wrong. Because the inner compass and the entire focus are on ego-driven fear, rather weakness. We spin the wheel like a guinea pigs in the cages of our lives and we think we are making progress. Because we got on an education, or a job and money, earned more money, created a family and realized ourselves professionally and privately. We've automatically satisfied the social dictates if, in the best sense, we managed to get even there. And we did not move from one place for the simple reason that the above is necessary as a step in the process of self-realization, but it is irrelevant in itself. It is only important to our ego. And when we start to demolish our false identity and illuminate the darkness with the truth, enormous resistance and stress arise. By demolishing that false identity, we think we are demolishing ourselves, but that is not true. Actually, tearing down that false identity is the only way to know ourselves. And that is why it is so challenging and painful mentally and physically. Because the ego and the false identity it creates do not want to be destroyed. It is necessary to go through more or less suffering to break ego down and thus deserve freedom from it, because freedom is the truth created in overcoming those same challenges. Freedom is the truth created in suffering. And finally, the truth that always causes great suffering in people. We can't help anyone become aware and overcome the ego if they don't see it or don't want to. Responsibility lies solely and exclusively on us. It is neither good nor bad, it's just the way it is. Let's try, for example, to explain to a person who is selfish that he is selfish and that he should not think only about himself. This will only cause aggression and resistance. Let's try to offer a change to a person who fears change. This will only cause unprecedented stress. More important question is why we would want to impose awareness on someone in the first place. Only the ego wants to impose, and love offers, and there is a huge difference. It is up to us to control our ego related to what we do and how we react, not how others will behave. The person who does not understand it is not a problem. The problem is us who explain and impose. It is egoistic not to understand that somebody does not understand. And for this reason, others are not our competition. We are our own competition. Our competition is our procrastination, bad relationships, and decisions we persist in. Our negative behavior we nurture and the lack of creativity, curiosity, and courage to stop it all, because then our false identity could crash and everything we thought we were. Our competition is an awareness with which we repeat the same actions for years and expect a different result. Our competition is that one weakness that we are not ready to face, and because of it, we go around in circles all life. This weakness can also be that we don't stand up for ourselves and let everybody passes over us, or that we lie, cheat, are envious, or avoid the truth. Or that we have blind spots that everyone but us can see, secrets that we are afraid and ashamed of, or that we are bitter, disappointed, conflicted, stubborn, naive, and so many other weaknesses that we don't even have time to count. That is why our only competition is our ego, which put us in a subordinate position and which we serve all our lives, and our souls we are neither aware of nor we try to listen to. We act as we don't have it, and then we are surprised by depression, anger, and rage that arise. We wonder how we are never lucky and how nothing new happens to us. That's why we need to learn to become aware of the ego in its types, to deal with ourselves, the only thing we can influence. My name is Zoran Salopek, and next time we will discuss types of the ego.